One of my subscribers had their identity stolen. I'm going to tell you what I recommended to them and also what I personally do. As a former CIA officer, I do a ton of consulting when it comes to identity theft and privacy and all that. So this is a phone that was just handed to me by one of my camera crew. I cannot read emails on my flip phone, so this is their phone. Here's the email. This is going to be the first time I'm reading it, so let's see. Dear Jason, I hope this email finds you well. I'm a subscriber of yours and have found your advice invaluable. Unfortunately, I find myself in a dire situation and could really use your expertise and guidance. Recently, I received a text message claiming that a package I was expecting could not be successfully delivered. The message included a link to a website that appeared to be from UPS, prompting me to provide additional information to reschedule delivery. Without thinking much, I clicked on the link and proceeded to enter all my personal details, ouch, including my full name, address, email address, and even verified the card I used for the purchase. Now, just 2 days later, I'm unable to use my debit card or access my bank account. I fear that my identity has been stolen and am deeply concerned about the potential repercussions. I am reaching out to you for advice on what steps I should take to mitigate the damage caused by this identity theft incident. I would greatly appreciate any tips or strategies you could share on how to prevent such incidents from happening again in the future. Thank you in advance for your assistance and support. Your expertise would mean a lot to me during this challenging time. Best regards, and then their name, but I'm obviously not going to tell you this person's name. So yes, that sucks. Identity thieves, they are very crafty. They are very smart these days. We already know that. Anytime you get a link or a text message, I don't text. I've never sent a text in my life, but anytime you get that, never click on it. You need to verify it. So if I got a link, for instance, it was me from UPS, I'm going to the main UPS website or I'm calling UPS on the phone. Even if I get an email, because yes, I do use email, but I don't text message. If I get an email from UPS, I'm certainly not clicking on any links in an email from UPS. Again, I'm going to their main website or I am calling their 1-800 number. So do that. It takes more time, but that more time you invest is going to save you a headache like this poor woman here is going through. So here are the 4 things I recommend to prevent identity theft, but also, heaven forbid, you ever have your identity stolen. Number 1, like this woman here, she got her identity stolen. Of course, you've got to contact the banks. You've got to contact other credit card companies. You've got to open up a new bank account. You've got to tell them what's going on. You've got to cancel your credit cards. That's obvious. It's a pain in the butt, but you got to do it. So that is step 1. Step 2 is the not so obvious step that I've been doing for 20 plus years now, is you've got to put a freeze on your credit report. It is very easy to do. You contact all the major credit bureaus, you contact Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and put a credit freeze on your report. This means that somebody can't go and open a bank account in your name, or can't go buy a house, or can't go, buy a car or whatever. Like I said, I've had my credit freeze for 20 plus years now. Back in the day when I did it, you had to do it by mailing stuff in. Now you can do it online. So please put a credit freeze on your accounts for all the bureaus. Now you're probably asking me, well, wait a minute, if my credit's frozen, what if I need to buy a house? When you put the freeze on your credit, every single bureau gives you a code. So it's like a 10-digit passcode. If you have to lift your credit freeze, meaning you're going to buy a house or a car, you simply go online and say, hey, I want to lift my credit freeze for the next 48 hours or the next 72 hours. And you put in your code and it allows you to do that. So very easy to do. When I went on Shark Tank several years ago, they ran a credit check and a background check on me. One of the producers called me and said, hey, Jason, we're trying to run a credit check on you, but your credit is frozen. I said, oh yeah, I'll lift it. So I went in, I lifted it for 48 hours. That way the Shark Tank producer could check my credit. So very, very simple to do. So that is step 2. Please do that. Please put a credit freeze. Now to step 3. It's about one of my favorite services that I use to protect my privacy and identity. So obviously, scammers got this subscriber of mine. You don't know where they got her info. It could have been some data broker website, like who knows where they get this stuff, but you absolutely need to be proactive about protecting your personal information online because it's everywhere. So you've got to protect it. Luckily, Delete Me, the people I mentioned that I use for protecting my privacy, they've been kind enough to sponsor today's video because they know that if you watch my content, you're the type of person who values your privacy and understands the importance of safeguarding your personal information. Delete Me specializes in removing your personal data from data broker websites, which obviously significantly reduces the chance of your identity being stolen and fraud happening. I wish my subscriber, the woman who just got her identity stolen, would have done this to begin with, but if you want to make sure that you're not the next victim, click on the link in this description. It is joindeleteme.com/Hanson and use code Hanson for 20% off of your privacy plan. So use Delete Me. Like I said, I use it. it's a no-brainer because they do all the work, so I don't have to spend all my time on the internet getting rid of all the scammers and fraudsters. Now, to the fourth and final tip I recommend. Now, this tip is important for creating a paper trail. So it's not going to prevent identity theft, but if you get money stolen or if something happens, it's like a police report, basically. You need to file a report with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that your identity has been stolen. And again, it's not really going to do much as in get your, have your identity be protected. It's an after the fact type of thing. But you can say, hey, Mr. Bank, or, if somebody tries to go buy a car and you didn't freeze your credit report soon enough, you can say, hey, I filed a report on this date with the FTC. My identity's been stolen. Here's the proof, all this and that. So it's just kind of a CYA thing. I definitely hope you never get your identity stolen, but if you follow the 4 tips that I just outlined in this video, the same tips I use, you'll be a heck of a lot better. And again, if you want to join Delete Me, go to joindeleteme.com/Hanson.